We live on a volcanic planet. Volcanoes exist everywhere, from northern Russia to Antarctica. They're found on every continent, the wildest forms of nature, untamable, dangerous, and dramatic. We're still discovering them. The largest known volcano on Earth was only found in 2013, a massive undersea mountain off the coast of Japan. It's not the biggest we know of, that would be Mons Olympus on Mars, nor is it the largest ever to have erupted on Earth. That distinction likely belongs to an Indonesian volcano which 70,000 years ago nearly wiped out humankind, leaving fewer than 1,000 breeding pairs of humans to continue our race. The biggest eruption on Earth is yet to come. The Yellowstone supervolcano erupts every 600,000 years. Its last eruption was 648,000 years ago, so it's long overdue. When it does erupt, it may be the largest natural explosion in Earth's history, equivalent to about 1,000 nuclear bombs or the impact of a 1-kilometer asteroid. Such a blast would drop global temperatures by 10 to 20 degrees and likely trigger the end of civilization. Thankfully, no currently active volcano compares with Yellowstone, but the one that comes closest is near Congo, deep in Central Africa. Considered the world's most dangerous volcano, its last major eruption a few years ago killed many people, ran a river of lava through the city of Goma, and turned over 120,000 into refugees. We set out to climb this towering volcano to witness its power and the risks it poses to the people and wildlife of the Congo. It's a long journey, first flying to London, England, then Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, then Kigali, Rwanda, and finally crossing Rwanda by land into the Congo. Our last stop before the base camp is Goma, a sprawling, rough Scrabble town that's about as far from Geneva as one can imagine. Eastern Congo is so poor that in Goma they make their own bicycles out of wood. When I start handing out Congolese francs to my photographic porters, it almost causes a riot. That's me in green, besieged by a mob hoping for a small fortune. Above Goma's chaotic streets looms smoking Nyiragongo. In 2002, it erupted, sending a lava flow right through the city. The disaster compounded decades of war and poverty. We meet Jacques Durieux, a French scientist studying the volcano for 30 years. During the 2002 eruption, he says, we were extremely lucky. The lava flows moving through the city traveled at about 5 to 8 kilometers per hour, allowing people to run away. If next time the lava moves at 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, it would be a huge catastrophe. That eruption followed 11 years of war, yet it still impressed the people more than the conflict itself. In 2002, lava engulfed cars and trucks too quickly to move them, leaving charred hulks behind as stark reminders of the volcano's unpredictability. A boy peeks out from the back of a rusted truck, his home. If Nyiragongo erupts again, who knows what will happen to this shelled-out town and its inhabitants? We prepare to climb and assess the volcano's current state. We're here now, I'm told. We'll go up to the coulee, then to the fracture. The trek begins, 6 hours straight up a steep slope. Our Congolese porters are incredible, carrying heavy water cans, tents, cameras, even an AK-47 for protection, all with remarkable speed. Some share stories about previous eruptions. I consider whether it might be interesting to send one of the geologists down inside the volcano. Not me, of course. I'm not that crazy, but perhaps one of them, if we rig a rope. But even he eventually decides discretion is the better part of valor. It gets tough down there, unbelievably hot and full of toxic gases. Not worth going deeper without an air-conditioned suit. There are cavities and holes left by lava flowing around and burning away rainforest trees. In 2002, this was lush rainforest. Now it's barren lava fields with tree-cast holes leading toward the summit. By day's end, we stagger up a 40-degree slope. After hours of struggle, we finally reach the top. Thick clouds roll in, followed by wicked thunderstorms lasting 3 days. Only when the weather clears do we witness the world's largest lava lake. After nightfall, it's an astonishing sight. 2,000 degrees of molten fury, a window into Earth's core. Surprisingly, the boiling cauldron of lava means Nyiragongo is venting its energy steadily and safely, at least for now. The 600,000 people in Goma remain safe, for now. But who can say what tomorrow brings in this corner of darkest, hottest Africa? Not all volcanoes lurk in such wild places. Consider Costa Rica, peaceful, tropical, with lush rainforests, waterfalls, and abundant wildlife. It's an adventure playground of jungles, wild rivers, and active volcanoes. Costa Rica sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 40,000-kilometer band of seismic activity that created hundreds of volcanoes, many clustered here. Over the last century, spectacular eruptions have made Costa Rica a hotbed of volcanic activity. Being on the Ring of Fire also means frequent earthquakes. During a 2009 quake, dramatic live TV footage captured the chaos. Eruption volcano has erupted 23 times in modern history. Its most infamous show was in 1963, during a visit by U.S. President John Kennedy. The eruption lasted over 2 years, dumping massive ash over central Costa Rica and covering the runway Air Force One had to land on. Heavy rains mixed with ash to create flash floods, causing tremendous damage. Now a national park, Eruption hosts thousands of visitors each year. Though dormant at the moment, developing fissures suggest it could blow at any time. The real action, however, is at Arenal, Costa Rica's most active volcano, looming over a well-populated town below. Scientists try to predict its behavior. We join them as they climb it, carrying geophysical equipment up steep slopes littered with lava bombs from past eruptions. An international team of Irish, Italian, and Costa Rican geophysicists installs seismic imaging equipment to understand subterranean magma movements. Chris Bean, the expedition leader, explains they're recording continuous ground vibrations too subtle for humans to detect. Like a cardiograph for volcanoes, these instruments translate seismic signals into knowledge of the volcano's inner workings. They're placing 10 instruments in a semicircle around Arenal's flank. Though thrilling, it's also nerve-wracking. Nobody wants to linger too long near an active crater. Halfway around the Ring of Fire lies Indonesia, over 150 volcanoes, one of the world's most volcanic places. Indonesia is full of history, color, fire, and mysterious creatures. We get close to Papandayan, Bromo, Semeru, and Krakatoa, the mother of all volcanoes. On August 27, 1883, Krakatoa erupted with unprecedented force. Hundreds of villages were obliterated by massive explosions and pyroclastic flows. The eruption generated a 40-meter tsunami, killing 36,000 people and hurling ships 3 kilometers inland. We head for Rakata Island, once part of Krakatoa, now separate, to view Anak Krakatoa, the child of Krakatoa, a young, active volcano. Guided by Indonesian volcanologist Doni Wicaksono, we arrive just as Anak Krakatoa sends a huge ash plume skyward. Setting up camp, we witness volcanic fireworks. Late afternoon, we attempt to approach the cone, but must carefully judge how close we can get. As darkness approaches, the wise choice is to retreat and observe from safety. Krakatoa, rebuilding itself, is fascinating but not unique in Indonesia. Doni takes us to Papandayan, where he recalls a past eruption's devastation. He shares his fascination with these unpredictable giants. "Volcanoes are amazing," he says. "You never know what will happen." Mother Nature's power is huge. We approach a humarul vent that sounds like a jet engine. Sulfur liquefies here, the gas is toxic, and we must wear masks, no lingering allowed. As we climb Papandayan, the stench of sulfur intensifies. On Java's other end is Kawah Ijen, another sulfur-rich volcano. Here miners dig sulfur by hand without safety equipment, earning a pittance as they carry 100 kilos loads up 4 kilometers of steep terrain twice a day. My partner George tries lifting a load and finds it painfully heavy. These men are superhuman, extracting sulfur under brutal conditions. We hire 20 porters to help us climb Semeru, Java's highest and most dangerous active volcano. 2 days of grueling ascent through jungle and steep slopes. Finally, from the summit at dawn, we witness a huge eruption. Ash and rocks burst forth, rewarding all our effort. Sumeru doesn't disappoint. You've seen a lot of George, my climbing partner, and might think I'm married to him. Actually, Michelle Schubert is. I convinced George to propose on the rim of an erupting volcano. We planned the wedding in Vanuatu, a South Pacific paradise with the spectacular Yasur volcano. George descends inside Yasur's crater in a fireproof suit, dodging lava bombs. It's insane, but he retrieves a still-glowing bomb as a wedding souvenir. The next day, atop Yasur, they marry in front of a fiery backdrop. The volcano obliges with dramatic eruptions as vows are exchanged. It's the world's first known wedding on a volcano's edge. Afterward, George and Michelle honeymoon diving with sharks in the Bahamas, leaving me to seek new climbing partners. I head to Guatemala, one of the most volcanically active countries in the Americas. From the colonial city of Antigua, surrounded by 4 active volcanoes, we tackle Pacaya and then Acatenango, next to exploding Fuego. Carrying a new drone camera, I hope to film inside craters. The drone works at Pacaya, capturing some crater footage, but at Acatenango's high altitude it fails. Thin air robs it of lift. No crater footage from above this time. Still, we watch Fuego erupt as night falls. Clouds roll in, and we camp amidst booming explosions. My youthful companions cheer every burst of molten rock. Italy's Mount Vesuvius famously destroyed Pompeii in AD 79, preserving Roman life under ash. Pompeii's remains show how volcanoes can annihilate civilizations in hours. Vesuvius erupted again in 1944 and threatens Naples today. Further south, Mount Etna, Europe's biggest volcano, erupts frequently. We try to reach it, but winter snows and a non-snowy rental car thwart our attempt. We shift to Stromboli, a small island volcano perpetually erupting. Guided by Zaza, we climb to its summit as darkness falls. Night after night, Stromboli hurls glowing magma skyward, a textbook example of Strombolian eruptions. Iceland is another volcanic wonderland, shaped by magma and glaciers, boasting geysers, mud pools, and hot springs. Geysir, now semi-dormant, gave its name to all geysers. Nearby, Stokkur erupts reliably. We cross to Haimai Island in rough seas, seeking an infamous 1973 eruption site that buried a town. Ingenious Icelanders halted lava flows by pumping seawater onto them, saving their harbour. Today we stand inside the once fiery crater, now wind-blasted ice and rock. In Turkey, ancient volcanoes carved the surreal landscape of Cappadocia. Soft volcanic tufa eroded into fairy chimneys. People carved out houses, churches, even underground cities. Volcanic soils foster vineyards. We enjoy local hospitality, see frescoed cave churches, and watch whirling dervishes spin like human tornadoes in volcanic tunnels of time. One hotelier transforms ancient caves into a luxury hotel, dreams of tapping geothermal energy beneath the volcanic bedrock, and sees a green future. At sunrise, hot air balloons drift over Cappadocia's hoodoos, fueled by propane flames, far safer than magma, but still a child of Earth's volcanic furnace. Undersea volcanoes, discovered in 1977, shocked scientists with ecosystems thriving on geothermal energy, proving life need not rely on sunlight. It's a blueprint for life on other planets. When submarine volcanoes break the surface, new islands are born. We sail to Tonga to see a brand new one, Hunga Ha'apai. The journey is fraught with leaky boats, rough seas, and injuries. We finally must swim ashore. Only 4 people visited before us. The fresh island is unstable, its craters steaming, its lava bombs fragile. We stand on the youngest land on Earth, marveling at creation in action. For accessibility, Hawaii reigns supreme. Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa you can drive up, though their thin air and controversy over telescopes rouse debate. Kilauea, continuously erupting for 30 years, is one of the most spectacular and approachable volcanoes. By helicopter, we see vast lava fields destroying roads and forests. Hiking 5 hours, we reach where lava meets the sea, a fiery spectacle by night. It's hot, dangerous, and extraordinary. This is our volcanic planet, seething, shaping landscapes, fueling ecosystems, spawning legends, catastrophes, and life itself. Through exploration, climbing, filming, and sometimes even celebrating major life events on their rims, we come to understand volcanoes as both destroyers and creators, eternal forces that define our world.